Hello, and welcome. I am Exit Light, and this is my channel. And today we're going to talk about familiars. Those animals that belong to witches or wizards. And we're going to look into some of the history of that. Before we get started, let's do the housekeeping. If you are not subscribed and you would like to be, please do so. And if you do, please click that bell so you'll be notified when my content goes live. If you would please give this video a thumbs up, share it, leave a comment. All of that helps. And below this video is a little button that says thanks. And it's basically like a tip jar. So if you're interested in doing that, that would be lovely. Of course, as always, that is unnecessary. It just helps because most of my stories are unmonetized because they're about dark things. Alright, let's get started, shall we? When we think about a witch's familiar, we tend to think about cats. Maybe even black cats. Mysterious and frequently associated with the powers of luck and magic, they seem to be the perfect companion for witches. At least, that's what contemporary popular culture has led us to believe. Throughout history, however, witches have been reported to have many other animals for familiars, some of which would now seem truly strange and unexpected. What's more, cats were, perhaps, not even the most popular ones. So what animals, then, did historical witches have as familiars? And what kind of relationship did they have with each other? We're going to take a look at what we know about witches' familiars based on a study of early modern witch trials in England by American medievalist William Chester Jordan. In most witch trial literature, familiars seem to be understood to be a witch's magical helper who would assist her in a supernatural way, or him, by the way. They harm other people and their possessions on the witch's behalf. And witches supposedly repay their familiar by giving them food and a place to live. We call those children. Now, you might be asking yourself, what on earth do familiars even eat? Chicken nuggets, by the way. It is interesting that they have been occasionally reported to eat normal food like bread, milk, beer, cake. Although more often than not, they were said to feed on the witch's blood by sucking on various spots of her body. Okay. Some familiars were said to appear the same way many of our pets do, just out of nowhere. These animals would offer their help, and they would ask for food. Many others have been portrayed in the literature as gifts from the devil, who gave them in return for the witch's loyalty. Still, others would come from other witches. Apparently, familiars could be passed down from one witch to another, or sometimes even shared within a group of witches. So, what kind of animals were familiars then? Among those who would perhaps surprise us the least are dogs. Then there's toads, which I am not fond of, and wild birds. Apart from, of course, cats, who also appear in witch trial literature. But some other familiars are much more surprising, such as insects, spiders, flies, bees, and then there's the vermin, rats and mice, and domestic animals, cows, domesticated fowl, and even ferrets, rabbits, bears, and, oddly enough, snails were believed to work as familiars as well. As pet-like companions, which snails make lovely pets, as I'm sure we've figured out by now, familiars received a variety of names. Some sound really eccentric, and you're going to hear me butcher them right now. Illumazer, Pyewacket, Peck in the Crown, and Greasel Greetengootbutt. However, it is also highly possible that these names were invented by the witch hunters themselves. Most familiars, it seems, either got standard animal names such as Puss or Gib or Ball, or had diminutive names such as Jack, John, Will, and Harry. Some other lovely examples include a familiar snail named Geoffrey, spider, Joan, frogs, Jack and Jill, and a cat and a dog named Sathan. So, that's interesting. What do you think about witches' familiars? Have you ever thought about a witch's familiar other than a cat? Isn't it odd to have a spider or a fly even? A fly. I don't know about that. A bear? Could be useful though. Thank you for coming to my channel. And good night.